What's up, board game people? It's been a while since I've been able to do one of these. Month in review videos help me to collect my thoughts, see where I've been and what I've done, and shed some light on the paths to tread moving forward. I also like to think they keep me grounded, and hopefully you all get to see I'm not just some voice in the cloud. I really do back projects, I really do play games, and I really am just like you all, a lover of games, a bit of a dreamer, and sometimes opinionated as hell. Before we get caught up, I want to thank the group of people who are helping me to expand the bounds of what I can do and how I do it on this channel. My Patreon members are helping to fund some new equipment for the channel and hopefully some new opportunities to get closer to the action at conventions and bring you all fresh news as it's happening. Thank you to everyone who's pitched in. Okay, so it's been a while since I did one of these. The last one was for December, so this is going to be a bit longer than usual in some places, but after this we'll be all caught up. If you aren't looking for a long watch, just know there's some great content hitting the channel soon that will hopefully bring in some new eyes and opinions. So let's get rolling with what's come in since December. I only thought that I was the last one getting it. Some poor souls still have not gotten their package. I'm glad it's here, and honestly, I don't know if we'll ever see Wave 2, so I plan to enjoy Wave 1 and hopefully get my money's worth out of it. I got the all-in with most of the add-ons. Next up, coming in at well over 52 pounds and standing just under 5 feet tall, Tanaris Adventures now takes the prize for the biggest single box delivery of a board game I've ever had. And this stack is missing the core box, which I'm still waiting on. Again, I got pretty much everything and I opted not to get the painted dragons. I missed out on the first edition of Crimson Scales by a few days, so when the reprint happened, I had to get a copy. This is an epic, player-created expansion if there has ever been one. And the expansion got an expansion. I went with both boxes and the minis for both. I grabbed the big bundle of Dark Souls with the Uthia Resurrected Pledge Manager. As usual, I'm one of the last to get my items. In fact, they forgot to send them out. When they did, they'd run out of a few of the items included in the bundle. Conveniently, some of the most expensive parts. I wasn't, and honestly, I'm still not happy with their resolution. They refunded me $70 for something that's going to cost me over $200 to obtain on my own. The value in the deal, completely gone. So yeah, I'm a bit salty, but I guess things happen. Next was the second wave of Final Girl, this time the Series 2 content. This completes my all-in for the game. I'm going to be making a video very soon to show how everything goes into the big storage boxes. I loved the VCR design for the whole thing, and I'm hoping it's functional too. I took another swing at getting the Great Wall with the reprint campaign and finally got the miniatures version. This one I'm excited to table and see how the co-op works with it. I'm an Awakened Realms fanboy just a bit, but this one was so off script for them that I skipped it originally. Then I tried to get it on eBay only to get a meeple version when I ordered a miniature version, so that didn't work out. I'm happy that I finally get a chance to give it a try and see what all the hype was about. Now, sometimes I get dumb things. This is one of those. I mean, the concept is cool, except Riffle has been available way too often to really consider it to be that exclusive or hard to get. The really dumb thing? I don't own too many bones. It's on my wish list, but little Riffle will just be collecting dust for the foreseeable future. Finally, Frosthaven actually made it to my house. This is one seriously heavy box. If they want to put this much in a box, I'm going to have to say it's best to split it into 2 boxes. This isn't a game you're going to want to carry back and forth to a friend's. No way. So, since the last time we checked in, what have I backed? I'm getting better, I promise, and it's been 3 months, so I backed a few projects, but less than I had intended to. I grabbed Orc Quest Warpath Resurrection with the all-in Resurrection Pledge. For Stone Saga, I got the core box and expansions. I may pick and choose some add-ons, but most weren't worth the cost. I grabbed a pledge for the Tabletop, RPG, Wargamers, and 3D Printing Hobbyists Unite campaign. I really liked a few of the dioramas, and the money actually goes to helping people on the ground in Ukraine. I grabbed Andromeda's Edge at the all-in Deluxe Plus add-ons, because honestly I couldn't pass it up. This is one of my most anticipated for the year, and I was definitely getting a copy. I backed Unconscious Mind for $1. I really want a copy of this game, but I just don't know if I can swing it. I backed Witchbound at the basic witch level with the wooden tokens. I grabbed a pledge for Townfolk's Tussle, Foul Neighbors, and Odd Jobs at the Peddler's Welcome Basket to get the old and the new. I'm all in on Maladam Dungeons of Enveron. They keep adding to the campaign and I keep seeing the dollar signs fly, but I'm not missing out on anything for this one. And finally, I pledged for Hexplore, Fall of the Ancients. I went all in getting the 4 volumes and everything they're offering. I sure hope it's good. Yeah, the inner idiot won. There have been a lot of projects that I skipped, mostly for personal reasons, but there's one notable skip, and that was Batman Escape from Arkham Asylum. I just couldn't buy into what seemed like a bland presentation of the concept, paired with not enough replayability to truly warrant the price asked. Then, top all that off with the complaints about their Harry Potter project, and it was a quick, easy pass for me. So what's in the cart? Well, a few pledge managers need seeing to. Actually, a lot do, but the ones I'm concentrating on this month are Deep Madness Reborn, Merchant's Cove Mastercraft, and Ancient Blood, The Order of Vampire Hunters. Ancient Blood and Deep Madness already have my money. I just need to finish out the pledges, picking up the pieces that I didn't get covered with my pledge. Merchant's Cove is sadly on the chopping block right now. I really want the game, but I don't think I'll have the funds to cover picking it up, and I'm not quite ready to say goodbye just yet, so it's going to sit there while I think about it. So what have I been painting? Not a whole lot, but I have had the brushes wet painting the Argo for ATO. This little mini has so much detail it's crazy. I'm having fun trying some new techniques out and seeing what I come up with, and I'm getting ready to get back to Warhammer Imperium painting as well. So what have I been playing? More than usual, to be honest. We started getting some game nights going, and I've been out and about playing games as well. We finally got Oathsworn into the Deep Woods to the table right after the new year. It absolutely lives up to the hype, and I really need to get on scheduling a time to play the next chapter soon. I got a chance to go play Tanaris Adventures with Flanks06, the community manager for Dragori Games. Tanaris Adventures is fantastic. We played through what I think was the second scenario, and then we ran through a mock city and kingdom phase. For me, Tanaris is going to be an absolute treat to explore. I also learned that the events of Tanaris Adventures take place following those of Arena the Contest, so I'll be starting there to really get the whole picture of the lore and backstory for Adventures. I really can't say enough good things about my short time with Tanaris, but it really does seem to be worth the wait, and the minis are fantastic. So much nicer and more detailed than I ever expected. A good old throwback that gets tabled a lot around here is Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition. We haven't even broken open the expansions yet, but I think we're quickly running out of scenarios to play through for just the core. But each one has been a blast when we've played it. This is a game that I'm really getting close to being comfortable writing a full review for, so that's coming someday soon. My wife and I stepped into the world of Aeon Trespass Odyssey, and even though it took her a little while to warm up to it, we're both hooked. Okay, so maybe me just a little bit more than her, but she really does love the depth when it doesn't get in the way of the action. Now that we know how to play without flipping back and forth through books, she's really enjoyed the first cycle. This is another one that needs to make its way back to my table soon. Finally, I got a chance to play a demo of Rogue Angel's Legacy of the Burning Suns with the creator, Emil Larson. Let me just say, wow! I cannot wait to play more of this game. The amount of different characters to choose from, the snappy combat, and the simplicity of learning and remembering how to play the game is fantastic. This is one of those that's super easy to pick up, but it has the depth you'd want from a sci-fi RPG. Calling it a Mass Effect-like board game is wholly appropriate and spot on. This has Mass Effect vibes all over it. I'm absolutely hoping to get my hands on a prototype, and I'll be showing everything I can for the game leading up to their relaunch on Kickstarter. This is one not to miss. There are more games that hit the table for short times just to get a feel for them, but I'll leave talking about them for once I have a bit more time playing them. So, what am I searching for? Honestly, I can't afford anything at this point in time. Sure, Conan's still on the list, and I still want an all-in for Vampires chapters, but I doubt I'll be picking them up anytime soon. So what's going on with the game room? Lots and not much at all. I've run out of room on the Calyxes, and I need to deep clean a closet where I'm about to start storing games. So until then, there's an ever-growing pile along the wall. I really need to finish the cord management for the TV and resin printer stuff, but in April or May, I plan to move the Elegoo Jupiter out to the garage, and I'm not in the biggest rush to make it all look nice just yet. I also really need to figure out how to get the Apple TV wired into the sound system that's in the next room. We use our Apple TV to cast game apps onto the screen in there so that everyone can see it without having to look at the tablet or their phone. It would be great to be able to use the fantastic sound system that came with the house. Okay, so channel updates. First and foremost, I'm back. It's for real this time, and while things might be in flux for just a little bit longer, we're going to figure out a good schedule and a release cadence, and we're going to stick to it. Even while I was gone, the channel continued to grow. We've passed 1,450 subs and we're inching up to 1,500 rapidly. Thank you all so much for watching. Never expected to get this far, and I'm excited to see where the channel goes in the future. The next part gets a little personal. If you want to skip ahead, I suggest checking out the upcoming videos section. So what's been going on with me and why have I been in and out so much lately? Where to begin? I guess I'm getting old. My body's tired and telling me that I need to take better care of it. A few months ago, I was diagnosed with diabetes. Not severe enough to need insulin just yet, but I need to make some changes. I've been a big guy all my life, and my body is rapidly telling me that it's tired of being this big and it's time to lose some weight and keep it off. I've started some diabetes medication that should help me do just that with a good diet and exercise, so that's the plan. I take the medicine once a week and it has harsh side effects that leave me feeling like absolute poo for a day or two. So it really took me by surprise and threw me off my game. After the diabetes diagnosis, the doctor asked about my energy levels and such, which have always been low. I wake up from a full night's sleep absolutely exhausted, sometimes more tired than I went to sleep. After a quick sleep study, we added severe obstructive sleep apnea to the list of ailments that I'm having to deal with. So one expensive sleep study and medical machine later, and I have a treatment for it, but again, it's a huge lifestyle change. Thankfully, this is where the medical stuff is ending for now. Then the electronics trouble started. First, I bought myself a new monitor as a treat. It was on sale and I figured why not? It got here and it's honestly much bigger than I thought it would be. So I took my old monitor, which is still very nice, and I gave it to my wife. But when she plugged it into her graphics card, we discovered her HDMI port on the card had gone bad. So she needed a new graphics card, but her computer case won't accommodate the monster-sized cards that they're putting out these days. So we decided she would get my 2080 Ti, and I'd get a new 4090 to play with. So there went a few grand more out of my pocket. I also decided it was a good time to replace my CPU cooler as the pump on mine was going bad, so I bought a new one of those too. I went to the store and got everything, got home, and I had everything in the case in a matter of a few minutes, only to find out that these new 4090s require more 8-pin PCI power cables than I had left on my power supply. So back to the store for a major power supply upgrade. I got the PSU home and decided to go to bed for the night. When I woke up in the morning, my wife informed me that the TV in our room was acting funny. Half the screen was in black and white and nothing I could do would fix it. It turns out that half the panel had gone out. So we have to get a new TV as well. There went another $2,000 and another day of back and forth getting everything situated. It was just thing after thing after thing that happened, and all told, we managed to shoot through $10,000 in less than a week. It's absolutely terrifying, to be honest. I was without a computer for several days. She couldn't be without one for even one day, so we had to make things work. We also had work done on our internet this past Monday, so that shaved most of another day off of my schedule. In short, because I know all of this has not been short, I've had a lot going on, and I've had to step back and figure out how to take care of myself for a little bit. I'm back, and I'm searching to balance my time between work, making videos, and actually paying attention to my health and its needs for a while. It's a delicate balancing act, and I'll be tweaking and perfecting it for quite some time to come. So now let's get back to the channel, shall we? Prior to all this happening, I had several people ask me for a copy of the spreadsheet I use to track campaigns that I've backed. I haven't forgotten about this, but I also haven't been updating that spreadsheet for the last month or two. I'm going to get that updated this month, and I'll provide a link once it's ready. Finally, Gen Con is officially on my schedule. I have convention tickets, plane tickets, and a hotel room across from the convention center, so I will officially be there, unofficially. Sadly, I'm too small to qualify for a press pass just yet, so I won't be officially badged at the convention, but I don't tend to let little things like that stop me. As long as I abide by their rules, I can still do pretty much everything I wanted to. So I'll still be there filming, interviewing, and trying to get all the latest news I can for all of you. I've been contacting companies asking to film their booths and asking for quick interviews to some simple questions about their games and the companies. Pretty much everyone I've talked to has been incredibly open to speaking with me, and a few have offered demos and such while I'm there. I'm going to keep reaching out to people, and hopefully the list continues to grow. If there's something you'd like me to take a look at while I'm there, let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can do. Now, let's talk goals for next month. I'm going to keep it simple. I want to get back in the groove of posting videos again, sticking to 2 or 3 a week for the most part, and trying to nail down how and when I'll be working on them. I want to get the news completely caught up very quickly here, and I want to have at least one of the pieces of upcoming content out the door this month. So speaking of new content, what's coming up? There will always be news. This has become a cornerstone of the channel, and I don't plan to change that. Beyond that, though, I'd like to continue to expand the types of content I'm presenting. I still have an interview coming up in the next month or so, and while I was away, I stumbled upon a new sector of content that's underserved for the board game crowd. Our hobby, like it or not, is becoming more and more digitalized. We have Tabletop Simulator, Tabletopia, and many other ways to play games online with friends. Some of these games have taken interactivity and presence to another level by moving it to virtual reality. Sure, you can play Tabletop Simulator in VR, and it gets the job done, but there are quite a few experiences that are really tailored for VR, and they take things to another level. Demio comes straight to mind. Demio is basically a tabletop dungeon crawler in VR. You roll dice, move figures, and then those figures come to life and decimate their enemies. A lot of the tabletop social experience is there, and you can share that experience with people scattered all across the globe. I don't see the digitalization of our hobby to be some kind of threat. In fact, with well-done games and experiences, you can see and do things that are simply not possible on the tabletop alone. It's these experiences I want to bring to all of you. There's a sea of both good and bad games and experiences that mimic our board game and tabletop favorites, and I want to dig through them, find the best and report on them, and hopefully warn about the worst. So, I have some upcoming videos that will focus on a few of these games, and the systems they play on. This isn't replacing any of the normal board game content, but more in addition to it all. I'll be looking at video games and traditional screen experiences, as well as some of the VR experiences that have absolutely knocked it out of the park. As always, opinions, comments, and suggestions are totally welcome and appreciated. I'd love to hear what you all think about this in the comments. I hope it has the potential to both widen the audience of the channel a bit and to bring some more people back towards the analog experiences as well. So that leaves us with one thing. What am I excited for that's coming up? They're making a freaking Stalker game! Stalker! Yeah, that has my attention right now. I think many of the Awaken Realms systems, and definitely their writing and tone, are a great match for the Stalker franchise. I can't wait to see what they bring to the table. I'm going to wrap this one up here. I've ranted on long enough, and there's a news video begging to be written. I hope everyone's doing well, and remember, if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you to everyone watching, commenting, and supporting the channel on Patreon. And thank you all so much for checking up on me during my absence. I really do have the best viewers. Have a great week, try not to kill too many orcs, and get something new to the table.